Mama and Papa have a store. Clip, clop, clop. I hear the milkman and his mule cart. He rings our bell and leaves 2 bottles at the door. Clip, clop, clop. The mule goes down the street. The church bells ring. The rooster crows. My brothers and sisters leave for school. The day begins like this. Mama and Papa have a store, a Chinese store in Guatemala City. They sell buttons, ribbons, thread, and cloth. They sell paper lanterns, plastic balls, firecrackers, and perfume. Needles, white gloves, tablecloths, bottles of soy sauce. There's everything in my parents' store. It smells of flowers and of freshly swept, moist sawdust they use for cleaning the tiled floor. Mama knits without looking down and talks with the customers in Spanish. They call her Dona Garcela, but in Chinese her name means lady who lives in the moon. Papa at his desk adds and subtracts with his abacus. He is Don Rodolfo in Spanish, and in Chinese his name means fragrant pond. From the stoop I watch the street. Buenos dias. Don Chos sets up pictures of saints along the wall. I look for the one that shows good people led by angels toward heaven and bad people led by devils towards the flames. El Ciego, the blind man, sells lottery tickets. I've seen Mama choose her lucky numbers and buy 10 tickets at a time. Once she won the rolling cart that she keeps in the dining room. The candy woman arranges neat rows of sweets in a wooden box. When Mama and Papa let me have 5 centavos, I buy enough to fill my pockets. Santiago and Maria and their daughter Elista are here today. They've come in from a bus from an Indian village very far away. I've heard them tell Mama that they, like their parents and their grandparents before them, live on the edge of a lake surrounded by 3 volcanoes. Can you imagine that? They come to buy thread to weave their clothes. Mama leans over the counter and looks at the rows and rows of colored strands, arranged like schools of fish in glassy water. And in perfect Spanish, she says, parrot green, sky blue, pomegranate red, fire orange, loud magenta, and mango yellow. Those are the colors from the rainforest that we want. She will weave deer, birds, rabbits, and jaguars into the new clothes. I know, because with my eyes I've often played games on the patterns woven into the clothing of the Indians who come to the store. Stained maroon, iguana green, ocean blue, sunset yellow. Those are the colors from the marshes that we want. She will weave water, thunder, lightning, and flowers into new clothes. Volcano purple, maize yellow, hot pepper red. Those are the colors from the cornfields that we want. She will weave boys with straw hats and girls with baskets on their heads. Don Chima, the Chinese bean curd seller, brings fresh tofu. Mama buys some and invites him to sit down for a cup of tea poured from a thermos, the kind she sells in the store. Mama, Papa, and Don Chima chat loudly in Chinese, laughing and shouting. They talk about 9 rivers, their hometown in China, who stayed, who left, how fresh the fish was, and which dishes they haven't had since they fled more than 15 years ago, and how they lost their homes in a terrible war. They complain how slow the mail is for sending money back. It's time to close for lunch. Nina, Beto, Mandu, Chiki, and Adolfo are back from school. The Indian family leaves to eat and nap at the marketplace a block away. We'll eat right here because we live in the back of the store. Mom is already in the kitchen cleaning fish, slicing hot peppers, mincing meat with 2 cleavers. Taka taka chomp, taka taka chomp. Beto calls for us to feed the goldfish in the pila, a pool of water in the middle of our patio. The fish hide among the plants at the bottom, but dart out of the deep green when the breadcrumbs fall into the water. The fire roars in the wood-burning stove, food sizzles in the wok, and Mama sets dish after dish next to a pile of corn tortillas. Mama, Papa, and Don Chima, who often stays for lunch, talk about uncles, aunts, friends, and cousins from the Nine Rivers. Hong Kong and Taiwan. These are people and places so far away. I know of them only by the old photographs and pictures on the calendars hung around the house. But my brothers and sisters and I don't pay much attention. We're eager to finish eating and go up to the roof terrace. The terrace is on top of an old rickety staircase near the kitchen. That's where Papa plants roses and Chinese lilies in leftover wooden crates and has a miniature landscape of a cement mountain with little pagodas and red goldfish that swim around it. This is the famous Yellow Mountain in old China, he says. I imagine climbing the steep cliffs and getting lost among the craggy rocks. But how wonderful to cross a moon bridge and rest beside a pagoda. We climb the roof. It's safe to climb on. With candles, Nina, Bito, and Mando and I rub wax on the tin roof. Then, with cardboard sleds, we glide again and again, and spilling against the walls at the bottom. The gray clouds move in and sprinkles rain. There's a rainbow in the sunny sky. But Mama calls my brothers and sisters to go back to school. Don Chima has gone home. Mama puts powder and lipstick on her face. Papa puts on a jacket and opens the store again. The Indian family is already waiting at the door. Buenas tardes. People come and go in the long afternoon. Dark clouds sweep in, quickly taking the sun away and letting large raindrops fall hard on the tin roof. Pong, pong, pong. The sound above my head rises, then softens, then rises. Papa flicks on the lights. It's already dark at 3 in the afternoon, he says. The rain pelts the roof. It's so loud, people have to raise their voices to be heard. When my brothers and sisters come home from school, we make paper boats and float them down the street. Then they set up their books on the counter and do their homework. Suddenly, the lights go out. This happens when it rains a lot. Papa gets gas lamps and pumps them while we hold on the flashlight. He hangs the lanterns above the counters, and with our fingers, we make large shadow puppets. Mama goes into the kitchen to make supper by lantern light while Papa minds the store. Suddenly, the lights come back on. Santiago and Maria tie their boxes of thread into bundles. He carries one side on his back. She and Elista carry one on their head. They must hurry to catch the last bus back to their village. It's time to begin closing the store. The rain slows to a drizzle. Santiago, Maria, and Elisa are the last to leave. Buenas noches. Papa covers the display window out front. Then he closes all the doors and pulls the iron gate shut. Click, clack, clack. Papa counts money with his abacus. On a small black stone, he grinds black ink, and with a Chinese brush, he writes Chinese words in columns from right to left on the soft paper of his accounting book. Mama finishes her knitting. My brothers and sisters are getting ready for tomorrow. I sing and dance on the tiled floor. I'm sure Papa and Mama watch out of the corner of their eye. Click, clack, clack. This is how the day ends. The end.